A sharp, metallic temps filled the air. David felt it first, a sudden warmth trickling from his nose, painting a crimson streak on his upper lip. Simultaneously, Katie let out a small cry, pressing a hand to her own face as blood bloomed against her fingertips. Mr. Williams swayed, a dizzying wave washing over him, and a hot stream began to flow from his nostrils, stinging as it ran. The world around David spun, the countless clock faces blurring into a chaotic vortex, their relentless ticking suddenly deafening, then fading, as if plunging into deep water. A profound weakness seized him, dragging him down into darkness. The last thing David saw before the blackness claimed him was the dark, unmoving silhouette of the visitor turning slowly, almost serenely, towards the door. The chime above the entrance was silent as they departed, swallowed by the blustery night, leaving behind only the chilling scent of ozone and something akin to scorched earth. A low groan escaped Mr. Williams's lips as consciousness slowly, painfully seeped back in. His head throbbed with a dull, insistent ache, and his mouth tasted of copper. He blinked. Mr. Williams pushed himself up, leaning heavily on the counter. His gaze swept the shop. Everything seemed to be in its place, yet the air still felt charged. He turned to assure Katie, but his words caught in his throat. Across the shop, near the very counter where the mysterious clock had been left, stood David. He was utterly motionless, his back to them, his posture rigid. He was staring, with an intensity that bordered on obsession, at the strange, demonic clock. It sat there, an inert object of dark wood and unsettling symbols. Yet David's gaze was so fixed, so unblinking, that it was as if he were seeing beyond its physical form. He was profoundly still, a stark contrast to his usual restless energy, completely absorbed by the peculiar timepiece. "David," Katie called out, her voice a fragile thread in the suddenly silent shop. He didn't respond. His eyes, Mr. Williams realized with a jolt, were not merely looking at the clock. They were looking into it, lost in its silent depths. The air around David crackled with an unseen energy. He stared at the clock, its dark, swirling symbol seeming to pull him in. The silence of the shop, broken only by the shallow breathing of Katie and Mr. Williams, was suddenly shattered by a faint whisper. It was a sound like wind through a tomb, distant and echoing, yet it seemed to originate from inside his own head. It was not a single voice, but a chorus, a low, reverberating drone of something ancient and malevolent. It spoke in no language he knew, yet he understood every word. "Touch it." The demand was a rhythmic pulse, a constant, insistent thrum that resonated in his bones. He felt a powerful, almost magnetic pull toward the clock. His fingers, twitching with an urge he couldn't fight, began to lift from his side. The desire to reach out, to feel the cool, polished wood and the intricate demonic symbol was overwhelming. "Touch it, touch it, touch it." The chorus grew louder, a maddening, swirling vortex of sound. He took a single, slow step forward, his eyes locked on the clock's face. He was in a trance, a puppet whose strings were being pulled by an unseen force. "David, no." Katie's voice was sharp, cutting through the ethereal noise. She and Mr. Williams, recovering their senses, saw the unnatural look in his eyes, the almost catatonic state he was in. Mr. Williams, with a grunt of effort, lunged forward and grabbed David by the shoulders. Katie seized his arm, their combined strength pulling him back from the counter. David let out a choked cry, a strangled sound of frustration and desperation. He struggled, not with the frenzied panic of a trapped boy, but with the quiet, terrifying strength of someone possessed. His muscles were taut, his entire being straining to get back to the clock. "Hold on, son," Mr. Williams grunted, his feet skidding on the polished floor. With a final, desperate heave, they managed to wrench him away, dragging him backward until he was a safe distance from the strange timepiece. The moment he was no longer directly in front of the clock, the voices ceased, the pressure vanished, and the world rushed back into focus.